Hey, beautiful people, and welcome. I was about to go to the gym, and I'm still gonna go, but something came up, and I'm like, I can't even wait to talk about this. I just need to press live and just talk about it. I have seen yet another, not another, but a bunch of people saying that they are leaving some sort of spiritual teaching or cult or whatever. And I'm like, dude, you can't make this up. It's everywhere and someone needs to talk about it. So let me be the one talking about it, even though it's extremely uncomfortable. Hey, Alberto, and hey, Sylvia, welcome. So I want to talk about the hijack of the spiritual community. Those who are supposed to be the most awake and conscious ones are sometimes the ones that go through most unconscious darkness and that are the most trapped into like cults and fake spiritual gurus and fake spiritual teachings and all of that. And I feel so sad about it, and I don't stand for that at all. So I need to be one of the people talking about it and coming out about it. So I've shared this before that I've studied Tantra for many years, and I've studied non-dualism and non-duality and transcendentalism and all of that in many different forms. And it took me a lot more years than I'd like to admit to ground down into my body and to think for myself. The first thing I want to share is that we don't learn spirituality through books, podcasts, videos, spiritual teachers, spiritual teachings, or any of that. Spirituality is something that is innate to every single human being on earth. And it's not something that we learn from an outside source. It's something that we get to figure out and learn from within. Trying to reach enlightenment by doing what someone else has done or is sharing, it's not the way to go. We learn from our own experience, not from someone else's. So I want to talk about this hijacking of the spiritual community in the sense that I've been seeing so many people, it's so sad to see this. Thank you, Alberto, you too. It's so sad to see this. I've been seeing all the Tantra teachers who are polyamorous and cannot land on a stable, committed, loving relationship. They are jumping around from person to person, connecting with everyone, but not deeply connecting and committed to anyone. And I don't say this from a judgmental standpoint. I say this from a discerning standpoint. There you are learning sensuality or relationships or tantra from these tantra teachers who cannot even be in a committed relationship and are breaking up and polyamorous or whatever. What is going on here? What is going on? That we are learning these things from people who are going through a lot more darkness in that subject than us. It's insane. It's insane. It's insane to learn about spirituality from someone who is really struggling. Or learning relationships from a Tantra teacher who has never been in a stable relationship. So I've been seeing literally dozens of people saying that they are leaving this pseudo-spiritual Tantra cult or this pseudo-spiritual Kundalini activation something because the darkness is being revealed. And it's so sad. So let me check what I just wrote so I remember what I want to share. Yeah, so the spiritual community is filled with these cult leaders with these fake gurus and these polyamorous tantra teachers. And I'm sorry, but I can't stand it anymore. I can't take it seriously anymore. Like, I just can't. I'm sorry. Like, someone has to be real and grounded and like talk about this. And let me be the one talking about this while everyone else is just running away from it or like pretending it's not there or whatever. And I say this with, I don't want to be disrespectful or judgmental towards anyone or anything. But like the amount of insanity going on in these spaces is just, it's insane. Yeah, it's cringe, right? For real. And so I've been seeing like more and more people who were all about free relationships and polyamorous and tantra and all of that, who are like either breaking up their relationships and separating and then sharing that actually there's a lot of darkness there and blah blah blah, or and also like Kundalini teachers and Kundalini practitioners who are separating themselves from their lineage of practice because they no longer resonate with the values being shared. You guys, I just can't stand it. How is it that we call ourselves the conscious awaked ones when sometimes we are the ones going through the most darkness? Yeah, Aurelia, seriously, like I'm unfortunately or fortunately or whatever, I have been in many of these spaces, so I have seen it from the inside. And I've shared this before, but when I started studying Tantra and non-duality and transcendentalism and all of that, I was like, there's a lot of things that just don't add up for me. But I was younger and I was a little bit more naive and a little bit more open to like receive teachings from someone else instead of realizing it for myself. So I fell into some of these traps, and it's so freaking sad. And I have seen how these very spiritual teachers struggled to like be in society. All of these spiritual teachers who could not be in their human, they were just meditating all the time and they could not be functioning in society. They were completely disembodied, just transcending and trying to reach enlightenment. And the only thing that they would do was meditate. Then I saw these Tantra teachers who were all about free love and like we are all one and we should not be attached to anyone and like love is free and blah blah blah, and like just making love and connecting with literally everyone that moved, and then suffering like crazy because of that and hurting a bunch of people along the way and getting meshed up in this collective energy of all these people connecting with everyone else. Like, it's crazy what goes on in these spaces. And these people who are all about like transcendentalism and non-duality and all of that, who are completely delusional and ungrounded and disembodied and just disassociated from being a human. Yes, exactly. Seems like such a false front they are putting on. Yes, so let's talk about that. And I know I am like, I'm sharing this and I'm repeating myself and it's not coming as smoothly as I wanted to, but it's because I'm just sharing this from my heart and like I just can't stand it. So this is not like a very structured conversation. It's just me like coming out of hiding and sharing this. There is so much false light inside the spiritual community. It makes me want to throw up. I just cannot stand it anymore. Like I just can't. And if no one is talking about it, then I have to be the one talking about it, because I literally cannot stand it anymore, and I don't stand for it at all. And there's parts of me that don't even want to be perceived as someone inside the spiritual community because of all that darkness and all that false light and false teachings and false gurus out there. I just can't stand it at all. At all. And it took me a long time to get to this space, to find my own energy, my own discernment, to think for myself, and to actually say, no, that does not resonate. That does not seem like the way to go. And I know there are a lot of people with pure hearts and pure intentions that get mixed up in these weird energies and in these weird spaces, and I'm really sorry for that. And I know that we are kind of all doing our best one way or another, but I also know that we can do a lot better. Yes, exactly. Whew. So a lot of people are not even aware that they are putting on a false front. Most people are not even aware that they are doing that. And sometimes they are aware of it and they are still doing it because it benefits them in some way. And it's so... I can't. So, let's get something straight. Spirituality, it doesn't look one way. Spirituality is just an awakening that we have on life itself and what it means to be human. But to use spirituality as a narcissistic way to manipulate others is just, I can't say the word here, but it's not okay. To use people's sensual energy to manipulate them is not okay. To use people who are highly sensitive and pure and controlling and manipulating them is not okay. This is not spiritual. Yeah, exactly. It's far from spiritual. This is not spiritual. Spirituality is not like something that someone like conveys on us or tries to manipulate us into. We need to be able to think for ourselves and to have discernment, especially when we are around these spaces. And nowadays, spirituality has become so freaking fake. It's all about these fake plant medicine gurus and ayahuasca ceremonies and tantra polyamorous circles and festivals and hippie stuff. And it's so fake and superficial. And that spiritual community is the one that looks at the other not spiritual community and judges it for being superficial. What is going on in here? What is going on? The spiritual community who judges everyone else on earth for being superficial actually ends up being the most superficial people of them all. What is going on? So, I have a lot more to share about this, and I will keep sharing, but like some things just make me so sad, and I feel like really detaching myself from all of it and just doing my own thing. And it's so sad that we are the ones, we say or we think that we are the ones who are the chosen ones, or the ones who are here to birth a new earth, or to do things better, to do things differently, and to gather in community, in truth and love and unity. But all of these fake darkness stuff are still going on inside our communities. And how can we build a better world if this is happening within our circles and we don't even see it? And how can we come together in community when we are still fighting each other, or when we are still allowing this manipulation and darkness and fakeness and control to happen within us. It's so sad. So I guess that's gonna be my rant for today. It was very dispersed and not focused and structured, but that's okay. And I'm gonna go to the gym now and just be with that for a while. And I just wanted to share this. Like, I really pray that we look within for our own bullshit and our own shadow, that we really see it inside ourselves, so that then we can truly come in community to build something better. Because you know what, like, sometimes the spiritual community judges things like governments, but then if you imagine these spiritual people being the government, maybe it would be even worse. I'm just saying. So may we look within, and may we come together to do things in a different way. May we be respectful towards ourselves and each other, but also have discernment. And sometimes judgment might also be healthy, and boundaries. Okay? I know we are all doing our best, but we can do a lot better. And if we think we are the chosen ones, and this is what we are choosing and this is what we are doing, honestly, I feel it's kind of embarrassing. And if we judge governments, may we look at ourselves and how we would do it, and how we are doing it, and how we are conducting ourselves and our communities. And if we think we are, or that we will become the future ancestors, how are we leaving this earth and making the future generations proud of what we did? Because are we actually doing anything better? Or are we just repeating patterns and being in the shadow of superficiality and fakeness? Or are we truly sovereign and having discernment and acting in integrity and authenticity? Or are we just faking our way into spirituality and ritualizing things and doing ceremonies and doing tantra and playing with our crystals and meditating and chanting mantras? But it's as superficial as that, and it doesn't go deeper. There's not a true discernment of our shadow and our own bullshit. And there's not an integration of that. And there's not a true, honest coming together in community to do something better. I will leave it at that for today, and I will see you again soon. I just pray for all of us, honestly. I literally pray for all of us. But it's also not just about praying for something to happen. It's about becoming a living prayer. So I'm both praying for all of us, and I'm also working on myself to become a living prayer for me, for you, and for all of us. Thank you, beautiful people, and I will see you soon.